Promising Young Woman is directed by Emerald Fennell and it stars Carey Mulligan, and I'm not gonna tell you what this movie is about. I walked into this movie pretty blind. If you're somebody who has seen the trailers, okay. But if you've not seen any of the marketing behind this film, if you've not any idea what this movie is about, I would rather you experience it completely blind. All you need to know is that this is a movie that I was very excited to see. And after Twitter had been telling me to watch it for about 3 months now, I finally got a chance to see it. I got a virtual screener of the movie. I watched it 2 days ago, and I was actually thinking about it ever since I finished watching it. To the point that I was thinking about it until just before I started to record this particular review. This movie is one that I feel like is going to get talked about for a very, very long time. In a lot of ways, for better, maybe even for worse. Carey Mulligan maybe gives the best performance of her entire career. In my opinion, this is my favorite performance from her. She's very good in this movie, which is actually kind of an understatement. She's outstanding in it. Might be my favorite performance of the year. She is playing a very complex character, somebody who has a lot going on in her mind. She's very dark and twisted, but she's also very funny and lighthearted. And you see that a lot expressed in her life, the people that she interacts with. The cinematography also does her a few favors because it's a very candy floss looking movie. The use of color is absolutely amazing. It's shot beautifully. The art direction is spectacular. And those two things colliding together was actually pretty great. This is a dark comedy in all respects. This is what that film is gearing towards, that particular genre, and I think it does so pretty remarkably. But everybody in the film is really good. Everyone's performances, I would say, are pretty great. There's a lot of characters that are played by prominent actors that show up every now and then for really just one major scene and that's it, but they do a really good job in it, particularly Connie Nielsen, Alfred Molina. He's fantastic in a couple of scenes that he has. So that was really well handled as well. It also has maybe the best soundtrack of the year. It has a really great collection of songs that really gel together wonderfully. Sometimes it could betray the tone, however, but it didn't really for me. I didn't really have many tonal issues with this film, although I can expect this to be a criticism from a lot of people, especially since the movie takes some turns at points where tone plays a very important factor, and that might affect some people's viewing of this film. Now, I watched this movie, like I said, 2 days ago, and I've spent the last 2 days processing it. I've been thinking about what I wanted to say and how to articulate myself. Sometimes a review like that comes along. You talk about a film that you normally have a handle on. Sometimes you have the right words to say about what have just seen and what you're going to talk about with people. But in this case, I wanted to measure my words carefully. I wanted to think about how I felt about the movie. Because when I finished watching it, there was about 20 minutes of silence. I just sort of was thinking to myself, wow, that's... Obviously, I'm not going to spoil it for you in any way. I would rather you watch this film and go in completely blind, like I said. But the movie has a third act, which is going to be very debatable. And by that, I mean there's going to be some discourse, probably. There's a lot of people who are going to either love the movie or hate the movie by the end of it. It's a very make it or break it ending. But again, I can't really talk about what the film does, and I can't really talk about it in any explicit detail, but I I don't fucking know. I'm sort of in a loss of words. I had to think about this very thoroughly as to whether I liked the way this thing goes or whether I didn't. And after taking some time to think about it, I was actually finding myself going, I kind of dug that. I think this works. Don't know if that's, again, going to be the case for everybody. There's a good chance that a lot of people, like I said, watch this film and straight up condemn the plot, the way things progress. But the more I think about it, the more I found myself appreciating the artistic and creative choices and the story choices that Fennell decides to take. This is her directorial debut, and after watching this, I can't wait to see what else she does. This is bold storytelling, and it's wonderfully crafted stuff. And a lot of people have ranked this among the best movies of the year, and I would as well. This is a film that I think also requires a second viewing. I think if you go back and revisit it, which I actually did, I saw it again before I finished this review, and looking back on it, it gets better as you think about it. Again, this is just my opinion on it. I am curious, very curious, in fact, to hear from other people who get a chance to see this movie. But also, like I said, I want you guys to go in as blind as possible for this movie, have no preconceived notions of what's gonna happen in it, what it's about, what Carey Mulligan's character represents. And I think that way you might enjoy it even a little bit more. And after due consideration, I'm gonna give Promising Young Woman a 9.5 out of 10. It honestly could get bumped up to a 10. I wouldn't be surprised watching it later on in the year that this film eventually makes its way all the way up to like top 3. It's currently in my top 5. So there's a good chance that I see it again, maybe, and the more I think about it, the better it gets for me. I'm so curious to hear from people who've seen this movie. I want to have more conversations about it, see what people have to say. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to more reviews very soon. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the movies.